Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to Stranded Deep in Conversation, where we're just gonna chat for a while, because I like chatting. I like chitting the old chatter. I like pitting my patters against the ground. Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good myself. It's been a good week. It's been an interesting week, for sure, at least. And I'm off today, so I'm just cruising, taking my time, eating my bread. I already ate bread. Love me some bread. Bread's good. Eat bread. Don't eat too much bread, but eat bread in general. I feel like it's just a good sign. Anyway, let's just move on from that, because we got things to talk about today. We always have things to talk about, and today is no different. So let's get started with everyone's favorite segment, This Week in Retail. Okay, so, not too many crazy things happened. Some funny bits. On Friday was my manager's birthday, so happy birthday to you, if you're tuning in for some reason. But, yeah, we all went out for his birthday, and that was a whole charade I could talk about, but I'm not going to, because it's a long one, and I don't know. I don't know. If y'all are interested, you let me know, and I'll talk about it, because it was fucking crazy. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. You already know that's not what we're talking about today from the title, so I'm just going to move on from there. Sunday was an interesting day. It wasn't too crazy, but it was weird, because I went to go take the trash out. We have a back room, and there's trash in there, and we're like, oh shoot, there's trash in this room. So I go to open the back door so I can bring the trash out, like any reasonable person. And then as I open the door, I see the full body, cart, and face of a horse just standing there at the door. It's like he was waiting to be let in, because he's just by the door. And he's got his cart. Obviously someone owns this horse. They brought it in. We don't live in a city. We live kind of in a more rural area of good old Pennsylvania. So the horses are very common. But that's never happened to me working there. I just open the door and bam, there's a fucking horse standing and staring directly at me. It was the funniest thing. Because you don't expect that. You don't like, when you open a door, you expect what you expect to be on the other side, which is whatever you think's there. You don't think there's gonna be a horse there, but there was, and it was just very funny. But yeah, it was funny because I open the door, I see this horse. He kind of like shuffles back a bit. He's like, whoa, there's a person, and I don't know what to do, so I just slowly close the door again and wait for the horse to leave, like a good person. I kind of just treated it as if I walked into his bathroom and he was in the bathroom. That's pretty much what happened. And that's fair to say, because sometimes, I'm assuming if that's the exact same horse or the exact same people who park it in that exact same spot, sometimes the shit doesn't stay in their poop sack or whatever that they use to make sure they don't shit all over the place. And there's just shit all over the floor sometimes. But it's the outside ground, so it's not like it's the end of the world, but it's just kind of gross. But either way. So, that was Horseman. It was just a funny little horse. The next day, something happened again. Someone goes into our bathroom, smiles, enters, and leaves, feeling satisfied with themselves, probably. And holy shit, they left our toilet an absolute disaster. It wasn't nearly as bad as last week's, because they didn't get to the toilet. They did, actually. They got to the toilet, and then they decided, I feel bad for the rest of the room. Let me make sure that the schmear is equalized, equity, you know? But this person just left all the Duke in the toilet, so hey, all props to that. But it was like full of Duke, and like it was nasty. Like the entire sides of the bowls were all full of like curdled spots of shit, and you'd go to flush the toilet, and then it wasn't going down, and and I flush it again, and it almost overflows. So I'm like, I'm leaving it. And then a few minutes later, I come back with a sign saying don't enter, please. And I open the door, and then it's simmered, it settled down. but it was all the stuff was smeared on the bowl again. It was gross. And between half an hour, is my other coworker's on break, so I'm within this half an hour. I'm going at register, and I'm going back over there to just flush the toilet, see if it goes down eventually, and nothing happens. So I'm like, okay, whatever, it's out of order. My coworker goes in there. He's like, oh, it's out of order. Why is it out of order? And he goes in there, flushes it twice. It goes down just fine. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I guess they just didn't think to do that. And I was standing there in awe at the fact that it flushed down so smoothly for him, because I had to go flush that thing at least a dozen times total. With all the back and forth I've been doing. Yeah, just if you guys want to fuck up a bathroom, you can come to my store. I don't own the store, but it's the store I work at. But to go to the store that I work at, because holy shit, there's a lot of unholy shit. And then Wednesday, which was just yesterday, might I add, fun little quirk about this story. It was just yesterday. This is apparently a thing that they announced, because I watched a video talking about it. There was an alert thing on my phone and my coworker's phone. Apparently it had one for everybody's phone. I didn't even really get a chance to read the alert, and I'll explain why in a second. But I guess it was like a little test thing, and I was like, okay, whatever, it's fine. I didn't think much of it when it happened, because I didn't know it was even supposed to happen in the first place. We were just like, oh, that's weird. But we get this alert, and me and my coworker standing right next to each other talking, and we're like, oh, what's that? And I open my phone, and I'm like, oh, it's an alert, but I can't read it, because mine's fully in Spanish. and my coworker's like, what? So she goes over to her phone, and hers is in English. And we're both just sitting there like, why? And she's over here talking like, why did you get it in Spanish? Why did you get yours in Spanish? That's weird. And I'm over there like, I don't know, I wanted English. I would have liked to be able to read what was going on this phone. But no, you don't get that luxury in my phone. I think Google thinks I'm Spanish, because this is unrelated, but I whenever I'm watching something on YouTube or whatever, I get Spanish ads like 40% of the time. And whenever I'm watching anything, like sometimes I'll be on not Hulu, what's the one, Tubi or whatever, one of the ones where you get ads. I get Spanish ads for that. I get Spanish ads for so many things. I don't know why. But I guess the Google man, Mr. Billiam Gates himself, heard us talking, because like a couple minutes later, we get another one. And first I get another one, and it's in English. And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess they're just playing both sides of the field. Cool beans. I didn't read it, because I didn't really care at that point. I was just like, I got it in English this time. Great. And I just closed it. My coworker gets another one in Spanish. And it's like, oh, I guess they heard us complaining and figured we'd both swap around, which was the funniest fucking thing. And then like a minute later, she gets it again in Spanish. So she gets it 3 times. 2 of the 3 are in Spanish. I didn't get the third one. I didn't get it in any language. I was hoping for French. I was really shooting for French. Didn't happen. I was talking to my phone like, I want it in French now. Make it French. And then like a minute later, it happens again to my coworker. I'm like, is it French? So she's like, no, it's Spanish again. And we're just laughing. It was just stupid fun. It was very funny. I still don't know why that happened. But I honestly don't care, because I'm still alive and around today. Can't really say much for tomorrow, I guess, but hey, that's whatever. It's whatever works. But so that ends today. That ends this week in retail, ladies and gentlemen. And this brings us to our next segment, which is where I, talk about the topic for today. And as you can see, it's called My Stupid Inventions. And the reason it is called My Stupid Inventions is because I'm just going to... Okay, full disclosure, I haven't made anything today. I'm not going to talk about the things I've made and are planning to make. But I have been watching a fair amount of Shark Tank recently, because I think it's just very funny. I enjoy... not even funny, just interesting, kind of, more than anything else. I don't know why. I really don't know why, but it interests me a lot. I don't get any, I don't know. It's just an interesting show, and I enjoy watching it. It's just one of those drama shows, one of those reality TV drama show things where it's just like, hey, maybe you'll get this stuff. And almost every time after a pitch, I always have to Google how they're doing, because I get so invested in the person. I'm like, oh, I want to make sure they're succeeding, and then most of the time they're not. And it's like, oh, that's sad. But it's whatever. I haven't watched that many episodes. I've watched a lot of clips online. But I'm starting to actually just watch the show now. And it's fucking crazy. And there's a lot of weird shit. Like, people come with some of the weirdest stuff. Like 3 socks. Somebody had like a peg, like was like selling socks in 3s. Because you always lose a sock, and that way at least you'll have an extra one for when you lose it. And it's like, that's such a terrible but also genius idea. And it got me thinking, after watching a bunch of episodes and clips and shit of this, what's some dumb shit that I could what's some dumb shit ideas that I could have to just, for products that people would buy, you know? It's just things. And so I wrote down 5 ideas within like 5 minutes, because I was just doing some quick ass brainstorming, and we can keep going if this doesn't fill enough time for me. But I have a few that I would like to talk about, because I feel like they somehow are actually pretty interesting. I do like most of these ideas. One of them is a joke, which I guess we'll just get out of the way now. And again, this one is the only one that I can't exactly think of a reason for existing, but a guitar that has strings made of hair. And I say, hey, why not, right? And you can have different types of hair. Like, the strings can be different colors. It's very customizable. If you want to donate your own hair, you can make your own strings for your guitar. I don't know if it has the strength it needs, or like the vibrational qualities that it needs to make guitar strings, but why not? Give it a try. Or you can do it with you can have different types of hair. It doesn't have to be just brown or whatever. It could be like police officer hair, angel hair pasta. You can have pasta strings, pasta noodles, very long ones, as guitar strings. And some of them are harder, some of them aren't boiled. Like the ones you want tougher sounds out of, like the ones at the end of the track, where it's like much higher notes. Those are your wet, soggy ones. And then for the harder notes, so like the tougher strings, you just don't cook the pasta. Or you cook it a tiny bit, so that way it isn't brittle, but it's like very still dense and just gonna fuck you up if someone hits you over the head with it. So there's lots of ideas here. And so it could be hair, it could be pasta. Honestly, I'm just down for like wacky guitar string ideas. Like, if you were to take like those strings out of hoodies and just like roll them in cement and stick them on a guitar string. I don't know how they make guitar strings. Is it metal? Is it? I don't really know what they're made out of naturally. So I guess I can't exactly spokesperson this. I have a guitar right over there. I'm very bad at it. And I feel like I'd be better at it if I was more accustomed. Not even accustomed, but if it was a more personal experience. If I was strumming my own hair, I feel like that would be way more beneficial to my success as a guitar player. But alas, it's not a thing yet, and it should be. So there's, I guess I should name these, right? Because everyone comes in with their name for their business or their product. So we'll just call this. So am I gonna stick with hair, or are we just going with like anything? Because I feel like we could just, if it's hair, right? Guitar strings. That's kind of fun. That's kind of easy. Or if it's just wacky strings, you can just be like, wacky strings. Wacky strings is a great one. There we go. Bam. Bam, sold and sealed. I like guitar strings. I like guitar strings way more. So I think it's just going to be hair. I feel like you could totally get good sound if you really stretch hair to its limits. Because it's like a rubber band. It's pretty. Like, you have a rubber band, and you stretch it, and you go. I don't have a rubber band on me, so I can't demonstrate. But it's a thing you could do. So you can make music with a rubber band. So I feel like you could do it with hair too. If you have like enough of it in one big coil, and then you like put some tension on it, and then bam, you get music. I'm imagining that's how it works. If it's not how it works, I don't care. Alright, there we go. So there's my first picture. Guitar, and the strings made of hair. Or just, I guess it's not as to be a guitar. I'm not going to make the guitar. I'm only going to make the strings, and it's only going to be made of hair. And they all come from hair drives. So, you know, like people, there's like hair, like blood drives for people. There's hair drives for people as well. I think it's normally to make wigs for cancer patients. But we take some of that hair that they don't want to use. Like, let's say they have enough for the wig, and they're like, okay, we just have this random bits. We get that hair shipped to us, and then we like get their files as well, because you have to have a file, and no one wants your wig. It's like sperm donation. Like, you need to know who had your sperm before you. You need to know who had your hair before you. So if you see that this person was like a police officer, you're like, ooh, that sounds like hair I'd be interested in having on my guitar. Or you see like this person was an excellent painter, or you see it's a guitar player themselves, you're, ooh, that's gonna bring some good juju into my guitar. So it needs to be like a sort of background qualifications thing. You know, you need to be able to like see what hair is gonna go on your guitar, because it's a very personal experience. And you need to make sure it's nice and washed and cleaned, or maybe dirty hair has better music to it, right? Maybe there's like different sound qualities to like how dirty the hair is, because it's more like solid. I feel like when my hair is dirty, it kind of it gets, it doesn't get like chunky, but it gets it keeps pieces held together, because it's just like all knotty and knotted hair. Different kinds, different states, different peoples, different qualities of hair. You can get fresh hair. You can get like not I say fresh. You can get like luscious flowing locks of hair, or you can get people's like dyeing hair, beard hair. You can just like glue a bunch of beard hair to a piece of freaking yarn and call it a string, and it'll be great. Okay, I've gone a little too far into this one. I really didn't think I'd do that. I like that one a lot, actually. I didn't like that one coming into it, but you know, I gotta say, I'm a big fan. Once I started the ideas, and this is actually what I think would make a great like card or board game, because that's the thing that I like to actually think about, is I have a few board game ideas that I really want to try to do, because I love board games more than pretty much most things. And I really want to make some board games, like even just for myself, because I like solo games. So even if I just make a board game that I enjoy playing, I don't really need to market it. I don't think it's the end of the world. I just want to make a cool concept for a board game, but one that I have is very similar to like how Shark Tank works, where it's like one player is the entrepreneur and the other ones are the investors. And how the entrepreneur gets what they're shilling to the investors is they like pull, there's like, it's like a Mad Lib sort of thing, where it's like a sentence, so it's like a product that blanks, that helps you blank when you can't blank whatever. Just a bunch of blanks within like a sentence for like a prompt generator. And then there's cards with random like nouns and random like verbs. So it's like a product shaped like and then you draw a card and it's like a banana that helps you with and then you draw a verb. It's like washing your clothes. So a banana shaped object that helps you wash your clothes, and then you pitch an idea based off of that. And then the people that you're playing with will be like, hey, you know, I like that was a good idea. I'll invest. And then it's like the first person to like so many investments or so much money invested wins. I think that'd be fun. I feel like that'd be a fun idea for a game. I'm not gonna go any further because I like that idea. I really like that idea. But it's not like I can do anything with it. That's the thing. I'm not Mr. Moneybags. I'm not Mr. Wonderful. So I can't do anything on my own. But it's a good idea. I feel like that's a very good idea. And I'd be down to try and do that. Oh, I'm sure it's already probably a thing. But I'd love to try to figure out the logistics between some of these things. I just like, my mind kind of just goes. And most of the time it goes in dumb directions. Actually, it only goes in dumb directions. But sometimes the dumb directions are kind of interesting directions. Such as the foam blinger. You've heard of foam fingers, ladies and gentlemen. But have you ever thought that a foam finger could be worn outside of a sports-centric event? No, because that's all they're good for. Because they look so... They look just so junky. They look so tacky. They look like a mess. And honestly, they don't fit into normal society. But that's where foam blinger comes in. These foam fingers are... They can be shaped to just look like regular hands. So it's like, instead of all like this, it's like hand colored. It's not anything crazy. Or you can... Actually, you know what? We'll pitch this idea, and then I'll just scrap it, and then we'll improvise on it. Because in my head, foam blinger is a foam finger. So it's like, it's still bigger than your hand. It's still pretty big, but on the ring finger is the one that's being pointed. It's not the index finger. It's the ring finger, and on the ring finger is a bunch of really cool looking rings. And what I think we could do is maybe instead of like making the finger, we just make the jewelry for it, right? Foam blinger. So we fashion up your foam fingers. If you're going to a sports event and you have a foam finger on, you're losing all the real estate of your hand to try to rep your team. So instead, what we can do is we can make rings that fit the size of a standard foam finger, and they slide right over on top of it. And then you could rep your team. You can have like your wife's you can have a wedding ring. You can have like a wedding ring. you could send us what material your wedding ring was made out of, and we could make that, and we could put it into a foam finger ring. So that way, when you're going to your events, you can not only rep your team, but you can rep your family team. You can rep anybody you fucking want. Anything you can imagine repping, you can do with foam blinger. You, for the longest time, have been losing the potential of your hand when you go to sports events and you're trying to rep your team. Like, whoa, you're number one. That's not enough. That's not enough, because everyone else is doing that. Even for the enemy team. The enemy team has the exact same type of people with their stupid foam fingers being like, you guys rock. But now with foam blinger, you can really personalize the message you're trying to send with your finger. I think that's a great idea. I watched before I even watched Shark Tank, I watched the Jen and Julian podcast, which I think is a very funny podcast. I wish they were still doing it, but I understand what's going on with that. But they had Shark Tank based episodes where like Julian would pitch things to Jenna, and he'd always have some stupid caveats, which made it like a really hard product to invest in. And for foam, I thought that was funny. So for foam blinger, I said comes in many shapes, but only one size, a little too big. So it's not exactly gonna fit your foam finger. If you flail around, a little bit, if you're too hardcore with your verbal and like physical communication of how much you love your team, the rings are probably just going to fly right off the finger. But that is exactly what we want to happen, alright? Because it keeps you in place, it keeps you steady. So if anyone's trying to like get like the kiss cam over to you, they can see what you're wearing, and they can see that there's cool rings on your foam finger that are showing the world that you mean business and you love your team, you love your wife. It could even be a ring that shows that you just really love your Nintendo Switch controller, but only the left one. It could be anything. It could honestly be anything. It could symbolize anything. You send us a picture, we can metalize it and put it on a ring, and we could stick it on a finger, and it would kind of like it would fall too far down to the base. But that's one you can just like put some like a little bit of tape under there, and then you can just kind of maybe stick it yourself. But then sometimes it might wobble around and then fall back down to the bottom. It's fine. You can have, if you have a bunch of foam blingers on your foam finger, you can have so many that it just lines up and it's one huge finger of rings, of blings, and that will really show your dedication to your team more than anything else. And that way, you can at least have a ring in like the middle part of your finger. It's just combined with like 80 more rings. But hey, listen, all right, $39.95 per ring. And then if it's a special ring you want, it's like we'll have like the team rings already in selection. But if you want to customize your ring, that's an additional $14.95. That's just there's no talking about the price. That's all it is. So foam blinger, everybody, make sure you're repping your team the way you want to, which is this way because it's the best way. Foam blinger. No longer will your foam finger be shadowed in the crowd. You're going to be showing people what you mean. And you mean business. You mean pretty. You mean pretty times. So, and that actually brings us to our next product for you today. The name is work in progress. The name is very work in progress. The paper towel bling stick. Because listen, all right, you at home, when was the last time you used paper towels? Probably pretty recently. Honestly, you probably go through a lot of rolls. And once you run out of rolls in your toilet paper, your paper towels, are you inclined to throw away the paper towel roll that's empty and then go grab a new one? No, you're gonna leave it where it's sitting until you realize the next time you go into your bathroom or you're cooking, you're like, shoot, I need more paper towels, and this one's empty. So then you take it off the holder, and then you get a new one. But until you do that, you're left with this unsightly, gross, just brown cylinder sitting in your kitchen, in your bathroom, just grossing up the environment, really ruining the vibe of where you have your paper towels normally. But this is where the paper towel bling stick comes to rescue you. Instead of a standard brown cardboard paper towel roll, what we have with the bling stick is a sort of jewel-encrusted, sort of bedazzled. It doesn't have to be real. It could be fake jewelry, whatever you do. Whatever you're willing to give us, the more we're willing to give out. But it's pretty much just a bedazzled pole that your paper towels are wrapped around. So that way, when you're done with your paper towel roll, you have this bling stick there instead of this disgusting cardboard paper towel roll. And that way, instead of just seeing some gross brown stick, you see something pretty. It kind of like lights up the area. It's the talk of the space. The paper towel roll that's empty there, when you have company over and you have empty paper towel roll, you're like, you're gonna stand in front of it so that way they don't question what's behind you. They can't see it because you're embarrassed. That's an embarrassing thing. But with the paper towel bling stick, they see that sitting on your kitchen, and you are gonna want to show them that because it is just it really just livens up the atmosphere. It really creates something that people can talk about, and then they're gonna want their own bling sticks, which is great because you can get them to them. It's not a pyramid scheme, all right? It's fun. You're not gonna be doing it. You're gonna be shilling our website to them, and how it works is very, very simple. We have a sort of silicone rod that we lather with glue all over the sides of it, all over the one big cylindrical side of it. And then what happens is you send your jewels, you send your whatever you want to be bedazzled onto this rod. You send them in a box that you pay your own shipping and handling for to our warehouse, where we then smear it all over the paper towel bling stick. If you have a design model in mind, you can send an email to us or send it with the box. That's cool. You send it as like a picture, and then we could be like, okay, we got to follow this format. That will take 90 days to do because the people we have at the warehouse, they're not exactly the smartest, but they definitely have passion. And that's what matters in the end of the day with business. That's what matters. The passion is what matters. And let me tell you, if you're here sitting down in your chair saying to me, there's no market for this. No one's going to want their paper towel roll to be emptied and then they're just have that sitting there. You're an idiot. They're just going to replace it. And then you don't even see the paper towel bling stick for any more than maybe like an hour. And to that I say, there is already a market in place for people where they have. I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna rephrase the sentence because I'm already losing myself because I'm very bad at keeping myself in my own head. There is a market in place for a product that you put something on top of it and you put something around it and you get rid of what's on top just so you can look at what it is on. And that, my friends, is Zoo Pals. Zoo Pals has already proven that this this product structure is successful because kids want to see the creature on their plate. They're willing to get rid of whatever is on top of it to see this cool thing. So if you want to get more power out of your bling stick, you can put like a frog on there. And then your kids are just going to be so eager to use up all your paper towels just so you can see this beautiful frog. Until they're like, Ma, I need a napkin. And you're like, ah, shit. And then you have to go get another roll. By the way, this isn't a reusable roll. You get a 6-pack of paper towels, like 1 ply, maybe. And then you have to order more. And it could be the same design. We keep your designs locked up in our special safe. It's very cool. It's not very big, though. So if orders start really ramping up, I don't know what we're going to do. But it's cool, though, because we keep your designs in mind. And then we just roll them out to you again, assuming you give the materials again. So it's all a very simple, very easy structure to get paper towels. Because again, you're gonna throw away the bling stick at the end of the day. You throw away a Zoo Pal, you're gonna throw away the bling stick. So there it is, the paper towel bling stick. No longer does your bathroom, kitchen, wherever have to suffer because you're just too damn dirty to keep paper towels on a roll. Thank you. I think that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I think the paper towel bling stick could and it doesn't even have to be bling. It could just be like printed cardboard, but that's not fun. The bling stick is fun. It's exciting, and I think it's a good idea. I wonder if that's actually a thing. Do any companies have like printed cardboard under their rolls? Because I feel like that is a problem that happens way too often, where there's just a dead paper towel roll. The thing is, though, with the dead paper towel roll, you can kind of play with it. You know, you kind of like a little telescope thing. But with the bling stick, all right, that's a great point. With the bling stick, you don't have to throw it away. You can keep it, and you can do stuff with it with your kids. You can put it there and like, I don't know, just have it for them to like a wand. Like, ooh, I'm a wizard. Or you could like stick it in a pillow fort for like a cool window. And it's a silicone rod, so it's very durable. It's not like that stupid cardboard stuff that like you like. If you're a kid like me, you'd put it in your mouth and then it would get soggy and useless after like 10 minutes. But this, it's durable. It's gonna last through play. It's gonna last through use, quite frankly. So why don't we have it be reusable? Because we don't want to. All right, waste industry is the biggest industry out there. So we need to get in on that. We need to get in on that from the ground up. And that's how I think we do it. But what if, you know what, that's cool. What if you're not all that into the paper towel bling stick? That's okay, because we have more products coming to you live from New York. So this one, I have 2 without names. So I'm going to have to really work into it. But, okay. My friends, this is a good one. It's Halloween. It's the day before Halloween. You're excited to go out with your friends for either some trick or treating, a nice little Halloween party with a few friends, a little get together. You're gonna go to a college party, Halloween. You want to excite people with a costume that they've never seen before. You want people to be looking at you going, ooh, ah, while you go, ooh, ooh, because you want to be a ghost for not Christmas, Halloween. You want to be a ghost for Halloween. And for the longest time, a ghost has been both a very unchanged, a very basic, but also a very risky one to do. Because every ghost costume you come around is very similar looking to a very bad group of people known formally and, I guess, informally, always the the Ku Klux Klan. All right. If you and so many ghost costumes have the little points on top of their head, and you don't realize it's anything crazy until you put it on and you go outside and everyone's looking at you, throwing tomatoes, trying to fucking kill you, because you've just offended a lot of people and you should feel bad. That's messed up. You did it by accident, but you still did it, and that's on you. You should have gotten Cube Ghost, because Cube Ghost will make sure that your costume never gets second guessed as anything other than silly, crazy looking ghost. Instead of having no shape, so that way it accidentally it kind of forms a cone over your head, there's no cone in the head, it's a cube. It's kind of like an aquarium tank built into the top of the ghost costume. Like, you slide your head in from the bottom, and then you kind of have like a white frilly dress under it to be as a ghost. So it's literally just a ghost costume with a big ass cube head. That's the whole premise. That way you never get second guessed at a Halloween party ever again. If you want to do some spook on, if you want to get your spook on without spicing things up in a party, thinking, what the hell is this guy wearing? I'm gonna go kick his ass. You need Cube Ghost. It's the next thing in the marketing space. But again, it's made of an aquarium tank on the top, so don't hit your head on anything. And you better hope that people do understand, because if they try to hit your head saying, what's this supposed to be, huh? They're going to break your thing, and your face is going to be covered in glass, but we are not liable, alright? That whatever happens outside of the business is up to you. And again, since it's an aquarium tank inside, it costs at least $79.95 for the costume, but it's reusable unless you throw it away, and that's on you. Again, of course, that's on you. But if you don't throw it away, you can use it again next year. And you know what? It's always going to be a hit, because it's Cube Ghost. Not a single person, I'm willing to bet, everybody out there has never gone to a Halloween party and seen a ghost with a cube head. They've only ever seen the cone, because the cone is the standard for a ghost costume. But no longer will potential iffy conversations happen during these parties, my friends, because you have Cube Ghost on your side, willing to help make your party great again. Thank you. Cube Ghost, it's really something else. And also, they come in many different sizes. You can have a kid with Cube Ghost. You can have an 80-year-old man with Cube Ghost. The possibilities are endless. You don't know who's under there. That's the thing. That's the whole point of a ghost costume. You don't know who's under there. You don't know who's under Cube Ghost until they take it off and then they come back next year. But at that point, maybe they'll get another person to take Cube Ghost with them until eventually the entire party is full of Cube Ghosts batting their heads around, but not too hard, or they're gonna, again, the glass is a very big issue. And there's also no eye holes, because the glass kind of really fogs up the ability to see, so it's kind of pointless to put eye holes in it. And then if you put eye holes in it, you're just gonna look stupid. So honestly, we scrapped the whole eye hole idea. However, the very top of the cube hole of the cube ghost is a hole, so you can see out the top of it. And if it starts raining, it'll actually fill up your aquarium, and then you can like pull down the costume a bit, and you kind of look like a fish man, which is pretty cool, right? No one drowns. Well, actually 4 people have, but they were all under 10. They didn't understand the premise of the product. They thought it was supposed to kill them. And we actually do come with a Saw 5 promotional item, where you have like a pen, because then you can just jab your neck with the pen like they do in Saw 5, so that way you don't accidentally drown. So that way you don't have to keep dumping your head every 10 minutes. So that way the rain doesn't fill your bowl. Cube Ghost, ladies and gentlemen. The greatest ghost costume to come out of the 21st century? Are we in the 21st or 22nd century? I think we're in the 21st. I don't know. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to our last product of the day. It is nothing to do with time and space, but it has something to do with your waste of time and waste of space that are regular cooking utensils. Not every utensil is made for every product that you try to cook. There are certain things that don't cook very well under certain pretenses. There's certain things that you just don't want to use. You don't want to use a fork to drain pasta. You don't want to use a ladle to scoop chicken. Like just whole piece of chicken. You don't want to do that. Every utensil should have, every thing you can cook should have its own specific utensil that is made for that cooking process to make it easier and better than ever. And this is where we have Mac and Spoon. It is a mac and cheese based spoon. So it is made specifically in a way that it helps you with all the mac and cheese process. What it is a spoon with like a little, with like the like a big tube on as like the handle, and it's hollow. And on the top you can put in powder, so you can put the cheese powder inside of the tube of the spoon. Sorry. And so and you use this when you're mixing the bowl, the pot of pasta, because you've already boiled the pasta in the pot. A pot is pretty universal for mac and cheese. You don't need to reinvent the wheel there. But how many times have you tried stirring in the powder for mac and cheese, and then it all just gets stuck on the spoon? It gets stuck on some of the pasta. Like the top layer of pasta that you initially sprinkle it on gets some of the powder, but the rest of it just winds up a bland mess. With this spoon, you can mix, and there's a little button that releases like a little opens a hatch like under the spoon that releases powder. So that way, while you're mixing, you can release powder into the mac and cheese bowl. So that way, it all gets distributed evenly, and it gets distributed accordingly to when you want. Because for those packets, you just dump the whole fucking thing in there, and you hope that it hits the mac that you want it to be cheesed. But this, you are in full control. It is honestly one of the greatest products that doesn't exist yet. Because it's literally just a spoon with a tube that you can fill with powder. And listen, I know I said it's mac and spoon. It's not supposed to be for anything other than mac and cheese. But if you're crazy, you can fill it with other spices, other herbs, other spices, other powders. So that way you can mix it much more evenly with the rest of the dish you're trying to stir it into. Because everyone's been there. Everyone's put things on the top of something, and then it doesn't actually hit everything. With this spoon, with the mac and spoon, you're going to evenly distribute that delicious cheesy powder that makes every bite just as cheesy as the last. Mac and spoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it only works with mac and cheese, though. That's the thing. I lied about the other thing. We could put other herbs and shit, other powders. I lied. It's only mac and cheese. There's actually a detector in there that tells the spoon if there's anything other than mac and cheese powder in the spoon, which will make it self-destruct, killing anyone who's holding it instantly. But that's on you. It's the mac and spoon. It is specifically for mac and cheese. We don't dick around with our mac and cheese. We don't put dick cheese in our mac and cheese. We put that delicious powder that is going to be evenly mixed with your spoon today. Ladies and gentlemen, mac and spoon. And that is my last, that's my last one that I have written down. That lasted a lot longer than I thought it would, trying to pitch those. I think it's just because I'm an idiot and I ramble way too long. But that was fun. That was really fun. I would love to, have people here with me to listen to the ideas and just ask questions or whatever. But you know what? I feel like the job has been done. I feel like I've pitched myself accordingly. And so yeah, there's my 5 inventions. So we have guitar strings, hair strings. We have foam blinger. We have the paper towel bling stick. Again, name is pending. We have Cube Ghost, and we have Mac and Spoon. The 5 greatest products yet to hit the shelves. Come talk to me if you want a piece of the pie, or a piece of the Mac, or a piece of the bling. Whatever you want, I'm willing to give it to you. And the thing is though, if I gave myself like 5 more minutes, I could think of like 5 more ideas and then do this again. This is really fun. I love just the idea. I love just pitching stupid products, and I would love for that to be a game. I'm sure it is a game, and if it is, I would love to play it. I know there's like that Jackbox game where it's like that you like draw like the design of the thing on. It's actually kind of just what was it called? It's like that one Jackbox game where you like pitch ideas. Like there's a problem, and then everyone tries to come up with a solution to that problem with their own designed thing, and then people invest however much they're willing to invest. That concept, I want that as like a game, but instead of like with the drawing, you just kind of like pitch the idea. You could draw it actually. I guess if you want, you could have like a little dry erase board on there. So again, I guess my idea isn't actually all that unique, which makes me think that all these ideas already happened. This is I will actually eat my shorts if Cube Ghost is a thing. Cube head ghost costume. I'm gonna eat my shorts. I don't think I have to because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. Cube Ghost is still on the options. So Cube Ghost, I'm trademarking it. I'm patenting it. It's already mine. You can't have it. Cube Ghost is gonna be the next big thing. I believe in Cube Ghost more than any of those other products on the list. Maybe Foam Blinger. And you don't know. I like them all. And I'm proud of everything I've come up with today. But I do think this would be funnier if there was someone at least talking to me, if not reacting and laughing about the stupid ideas. I think it'd be fun. Maybe I might do that again. Maybe I'll bring someone on. I don't really know. We'll have to see. But in the meantime, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to this episode of Stranded Deep in Conversation. If you have any dumb ideas for products, let me know, because I feel like that's the very big can of worms still. But I feel like everyone's had one stupid idea as just a joke. Maybe some of them take them seriously, but it's mostly just jokes. I'd love to hear them. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time. Bye now, everybody.